Right now, there are 5 critical pieces of legislation making their way through Congress that could significantly change how you receive and manage your Social Security benefits. Some of these proposals focus on improving the quality of service you receive, while 3 of them could actually put more money in your pocket each month. Let's break down exactly what's happening and how it might affect you. But first, I'd love to get your perspective on something. Do you believe the current Social Security system is working well enough? Or do you think it's time for some meaningful changes? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is a conversation that affects millions of Americans, and your voice matters. Some people worry that any changes could make things worse, while others are struggling to make ends meet and desperately need improvements. There's no right or wrong answer here. I just want to understand where you stand. If you said you think changes are needed, you're in good company. Countless retirees and disabled Americans are finding it increasingly difficult to cover basic expenses with their monthly benefits. The good news is that now that the recent government shutdown has ended, legislators are finally back at their desks and we're seeing real movement on several important bills. Let me walk you through each one. The first proposal, House Resolution 5771, tackles a problem that probably frustrates you every time you need to contact Social Security: understaffing. This legislation would mandate that all Social Security Administration offices maintain full staffing levels during regular business hours. Think about what this means for you practically. No more sitting on hold for hours just to ask a simple question. No more driving to your local office only to wait in line for half the day. And perhaps most critically, no more agonizing delays when you're waiting for an urgent disability determination that could mean the difference between paying your bills or not. The goal here is straightforward: make interacting with Social Security faster, more reliable, and less of a burden on your time and energy. House Resolution 5345 addresses a growing crisis that's hitting Social Security recipients particularly hard: identity theft. If you've been following the news, you know this problem is getting worse every year, and criminals are increasingly targeting people who receive government benefits. Here's what makes this bill so valuable. Right now, if your identity gets stolen and someone tries to access your Social Security benefits, you might find yourself transferred between multiple departments, repeating your story over and over, filling out the same forms multiple times. It's exhausting and it's terrifying when you're already dealing with the stress of being a victim. This legislation would establish a dedicated point of contact specifically for identity theft victims. You'd work with one person or one specialized team who understands your situation and can guide you through the entire recovery process. No more being bounced around like a ping pong ball, just streamlined, efficient help when you need it most. Speaking of identity theft, I need to pause here and warn you about a particularly dangerous scam that's targeting Social Security recipients right now. Please pay close attention because this could save you from disaster. Scammers are sending official-looking emails claiming there's been some kind of problem detected with your Social Security account. These emails often include fake letters that appear to be on legitimate Social Security Administration letterhead. The message typically warns that your Social Security number will be suspended or deactivated within 24 hours unless you take immediate action. Some versions of this scam go even further, threatening you with criminal charges or prosecution to really crank up the fear factor. They want you panicked, so you'll respond without thinking clearly. Here's what you need to remember. The Social Security Administration will never, under any circumstances, send you urgent threats or suspension warnings via email. That's simply not how they operate. If you receive an email like this, assume it's a scam, delete it immediately, do not click any links, do not call any phone numbers listed, and do not provide any personal information. If you want to take it a step further, you can report these scams to the Federal Trade Commission or to the Social Security Office of Inspector General. But the most important thing is to not fall for it in the first place. Now let's talk about Senate Bill 3059, which could mean bigger annual increases to your benefits. This one's really important. So let me explain how it works. Every year, you receive what's called a cost of living adjustment, or COLA. This is the small percentage increase designed to help your benefits keep pace with inflation. The problem is the way COLA is currently calculated doesn't really reflect what you're actually spending money on. Right now, they use something called the CPIW, which stands for Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. As the name suggests, this index tracks the spending patterns of working people, but if you're retired or on disability, your expenses look very different from a typical worker's expenses. Senate Bill 3059 would switch the calculation to use the CPIE instead. The E stands for elderly, and this index is specifically designed to track what older Americans actually spend their money on. Since seniors typically spend a much larger portion of their income on healthcare, prescription medications, and housing compared to younger workers, the CPIE tends to run higher. What does this mean for your pocket? If this bill passes, you'd likely see larger COLA increases year after year. Over time, that difference really adds up and could help close the gap between your benefits and your actual living expenses. Senate Bill 3255 is focused on increasing benefits for a specific group of recipients, surviving spouses who are disabled, including widows, widowers, and divorced spouses who lost their former partner. I have to be honest with you here. This bill was just introduced on November 20th, and as I'm recording this, the full legislative text hasn't been published yet. That means we don't have all the details about exactly how much benefits might increase or who specifically would qualify. What we do know is that the stated purpose is to increase survivor benefits for disabled individuals and potentially address other related issues. As soon as more information becomes available, and if this bill starts moving through the legislative process, I'll make sure to give you a complete breakdown of what's in it and how it might help you or someone you know. Here's the one that's generating the most excitement. Senate Bill 3078, also known as the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act. This is a big deal. If passed, this legislation would add an extra $200 to your monthly check for 7 months, starting in January 2026 and running through July 2026. That's $1,400 in total additional support to help you deal with the rising cost of everything from groceries to utilities. And it's not just regular Social Security recipients who would benefit. This increase would also apply to supplemental security income recipients, veterans receiving certain benefits, and people receiving railroad retirement benefits. It's designed to be broad-based relief for Americans who depend on these programs. Right now, this bill hasn't advanced beyond the introduction stage, but many advocacy groups are watching it closely and pushing for action. An extra $200 per month could be genuinely life-changing for people who are struggling to afford basic necessities. If any of these proposals matter to you, and honestly they should, this is the moment to make your voice heard. Your elected representatives need to know that their constituents care about these issues. Here's how to take action. Go to congress.gov and enter your zip code or full address. The site will show you exactly who represents you in both the House and Senate. You'll find their phone numbers, email addresses, and mailing addresses. Pick up the phone and call their offices. Send an email explaining why these bills matter to you personally. If you prefer, write a letter. Yes, actual physical mail still gets attention on Capitol Hill. The specific format doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're reaching out. When legislators hear from real constituents about real problems, it makes a difference. These bills won't pass themselves. They need public support and pressure to move through the committee process and eventually come to a vote. Don't assume someone else will do this. Your story, your struggle, your situation, that's what makes an impact. Even if you've never contacted an elected official before, it's easier than you think, and it truly does matter. The landscape of Social Security is changing, and while we can't predict exactly which of these bills will become law, it's encouraging to see movement on issues that affect so many Americans. Whether it's better customer service, stronger fraud protection, more accurate benefit increases, enhanced survivor benefits, or emergency financial relief, each of these proposals recognizes that the current system needs improvement. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay safe from those scammers who are trying to take advantage of you. Your Social Security benefits are something you've earned through years of hard work, And you deserve both to receive them without hassle and to have them meet your actual needs. I'll continue monitoring these bills as they move through Congress and keep you updated on any developments. In the meantime, if you found this information helpful, please share it with friends or family members who might also benefit from knowing what's happening with Social Security right now. Together, we can make sure that the people who make decisions in Washington understand what's at stake for millions of Americans who depend on these programs every single day. Thank you for taking the time to stay informed, and remember, your voice matters in this process.